You ever wake up one day and realize your entire life isn't really yours? Like you've been living on autopilot, chasing things you don't even want just because someone else told you to? Yeah, that feeling. It hits you in the shower, on a long drive, in the middle of a conversation you don't care about. And then the question hits harder than anything else. What the hell am I doing all this for? Because if you're being honest, it's not for you. It's for them, your parents, your boss, your friends, that person you're trying to impress who probably doesn't even notice you exist. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what happens when you finally stop living for other people and start living for yourself. When you're a kid, nobody asks you what you want. They tell you, wear this, go there, say thank you, sit up straight, make good grades, be quiet. And so it begins. From the moment we're born, we're programmed to perform, to behave in a way that makes others comfortable. And don't get me wrong, it makes sense when you're 5. You need guidance. You need rules. You need someone to stop you from putting forks in power outlets. But here's the problem. Nobody ever teaches you how to grow out of that. So what do? You grow older, but you keep playing the same role. Now you're 18, choosing a college major not because you love it, but because it makes your parents proud. Now you're 25, stuck in a job you secretly hate, just so you can say, I'm doing okay at family dinners. Now you're 30, planning a wedding you can't afford because you're scared of being judged for having a small one. You smile, you nod, you play nice, and all the while you're slowly disappearing. Here's the real truth. Living for other people is exhausting, but it's safe. It gives you an easy answer to everything. Why did you take that job? My parents said it's a good opportunity. Why are you dating that person? They check all the boxes. Why haven't you quit, left, started, tried, walked away? Because I don't want to disappoint any. See what I mean? Living for others gives you a script. You don't have to think for yourself. You just follow the lines. But here's the thing about scripts. They weren't written. Let me tell you what happens the day you throw the script away. It's terrifying. Suddenly, you're standing in front of a blank page. No lines, no directions, no approval waiting at the end. And now, you've got to answer the one question you've been avoiding your whole life. What do you want? Not your mom, not your friends, not Instagram. You. And the first time you ask that question, you won't know the answer. You'll feel lost. You'll question everything. You might even wish you could go back, but you can't. Because once you see how fake it all is, you can't unsee it. Let's break this down even more. Here's what it really means to live for yourself and why most people never do it. Step 1. Disappoint people. You will. It's inevitable. The moment you stop living for them, they'll notice. They'll get confused. They'll get hurt. They might even get angry. Why don't you call as much? Why would you quit a stable job? You've changed. Yeah, you have. And guess what? That's the point. If your growth doesn't make people uncomfortable, it's not growth. So get used to the sound of disappointment. It means you're finally choosing yourself. Step 2. Sit with the silence. When you stop living for others, you lose their applause. The compliments slow down. The validation disappears. The likes, the claps, the good jobs, gone. And now it's just you and your choices. It gets quiet. And that quiet, it'll test you. Because without someone constantly telling you you're doing great, you have to believe it on your own. That's where real confidence comes from. Step 3. Rebuild from scratch. This part is messy. You'll try things and fail. You'll change your mind. You'll second guess every step. But slowly you start figuring it out. What you like, what you hate, what makes you feel alive, what makes you feel sick. You create a new life, not based on expectations, but on truth. Your truth. Here's an example. Let's say you've always wanted to be an artist, but your whole life you were told that's not practical. You can't make money with that. Pick something safer. So you didn't. You got a job in finance. You did what was expected. And sure, you're comfortable, but every morning you wake up feeling like something's missing, like your soul is asleep. Now, imagine quitting, picking up a paintbrush again, posting your work, getting 0 likes, trying anyway. And little by little, you get better. You find your style. You sell your first piece. You get your first commission. And for the first time in years, you feel alive. That's the power of living for yourself. It's not instant. It's not easy, but it's real. You want to know something funny? When you stop living for others, you actually become better for the people around you. You're more honest, more fulfilled, more present. You stop resenting people for expectations you chose to follow. You stop pretending. You start being. And that energy, it's contagious. People start respecting you more. They may not always agree with you, but they feel the difference. Because nothing is more powerful than someone who knows who they are and lives like it. But let's be honest, There's one thing holding most people back: fear, fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of being alone. Let me ask you something. If you weren't afraid of being judged, what would you do differently? Would you quit? Would you leave? Would you speak up? Would you finally admit that you're not happy? Yeah, I thought so. Here's what nobody tells you: people are going to judge you no matter what you do. You stay stuck, they judge. You grow, they judge. You succeed, they judge harder. So, if you're going to be judged anyway, you might as well do what you love. And don't wait for permission. Nobody's coming to hand you a permission slip to live your life. There's no golden moment where everything feels safe and clear and easy. There's just now. This moment, this choice, this tiny act of rebellion where you say, I'm done living for everyone else. Even if it's scary, even if it's messy, even if you have no idea what comes next. That's how freedom begins. Let me wrap this up with one last thought. Living for yourself doesn't mean you don't care about other people. It means you care about them honestly, not from obligation, not from guilt, not from fear, but from truth. You can still love your family, your friends, your community, but now that love comes from a full cup, not a performance, because the best version of you is the one that's real, unapologetic, unedited, unapproved. You weren't born to live someone else's life. You weren't born to be a character in someone else's story. So stop acting, start living. Subscribe if you're ready to stop living for others and finally live for you.